Chapter 2. Land, Soil and Water Resources. Let's learn. Land resources. Conservation of land resources. Soil resources of India. Soil formation. Conservation of soil. Water resources. Water resources of India. Conservation of water resources. Natural resources available on the earth satisfy our various needs. Land, water and soil are the basic resources on earth as nature's gift. Life is possible on earth because of these natural resources. They are also important for the economic development of a region or a country. Distribution of different types of resources in the world is not uniform. Some elements of the natural environment are rivers, plants, animals, forests, etc. The most important natural resources are land and soil, which provide us food and place to live. Land resources. Land covers about 30% of the total area of Earth's surface. Due to variations in topography, all parts of the land are not habitable. Due to variations in topography, all parts of the land are not habitable. 90% of the world's population lives only on 30% of the land area. The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited. Info Hive. The Ganga-Brahmaputra plains are one of the densest populated areas, while the Antarctica is completely uninhabited. Plains and river valleys are densely populated because they are suitable for agriculture. On the other hand, steep slopes and waterlogged areas are sparsely populated. The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to topography, climate, resource availability, and economic development of the region. The rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountains, low-lying areas susceptible to waterlogging, desert areas and thickly forested areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. Land use. Land is used for various purposes like agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, industries, etc. As land is used for varied purposes, it becomes necessary for us to use it judiciously. To optimize the use of land, it is important to plan the use of land as per its characteristic. This is commonly termed as land use. Land can be divided into private land and community land. Private land is owned by individuals, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. These community lands are also called common property resources. Factors which affect the use of land are topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of water. Human factors like ownership of land, population, and technology also determine the land use pattern. Increasing population means there is an ever-growing demand for land. But the availability of land is limited. As the land availability is limited, it has to be distributed among various uses, that is, construction of buildings, roads, cultivation, railways, ports, setting up factories, mining, forests, and grazing grounds wisely. Keeping in view the nature of land and needs of the community, land use can be planned properly to provide best results. Careless use of land may create serious problems like land degradation, landslides, soil erosion, desertification, etc. Human encroachment has resulted in large-scale destruction of forest cover and arable land. This is creating a danger for quality of land. Land degradation can be prevented by afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and by checking overgrazing. Info Hive. If the current rate of deforestation continues, it will take less than 100 years to destroy all the rainforests on the earth. Conservation of land resources. Efficient use of land can be done in the following ways: afforestation and land reclamation, creation of new land where there was once water, checking the further spread of deserts, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers in agricultural industry, checking on overgrazing by cattle, providing better irrigation facilities to the farmers, adopting new scientific techniques of crop production, conserving soil and forests. Soil resources. The topmost layer of land, which is composed of grainy substance, is called soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rocks. Soil formation takes place because of weathering of rocks and deposition of rocks by erosion. The soil becomes fertile because of the right combination of minerals and organic matter. A centimeter thick layer of soil may take several hundred years to form. Soil formation. All soils initially come from rocks, which are termed as the parent material. The parent material may be either directly below the soil or great distances away if wind, water or glaciers have transported the soil. It takes thousands of years to form a very thin layer of soil. Climatic conditions are important factors affecting both the form and rate of physical and chemical weathering of the parent material. The formation of soils can be seen as a combination of the products of weathering, of structural development of the soil, of differentiation of that structure into horizons or layers, and lastly, of its movement or translocation. Following are the factors affecting soil formation. Parent rock. Parent rock or material determines which type of soils will be formed in which region. It determines the color, texture, permeability, chemical property, and mineral content of the soil. Residual or transported disintegrated rock material makes the bulk of the soil. Black soil is an example of residual parent rock material originating from igneous rocks, while alluvial soil is an example of transported soil formed from sedimentary rocks. Relief. Relief or topography is the altitude or slope that determines the accumulation of soil at a place. On steep slopes, surface erosion by runoff is more rapid and water penetration is less than on gentle slopes. On steep slopes, soil is thinner and weathering process produces less soil material. On the other hand, the gentle slopes with good drainage and slow erosion help in good soil formation. On these slopes, there is a balance between removal of soil and formation of soil. Climatic conditions. Climate is an active agent of soil formation. Temperature and rainfall influence the rate of weathering. Moisture and temperature are the main climatic elements involved in soil formation. Rock weathering and humus formation is greatly influenced by the temperature and rainfall patterns. Living organisms. These are the biotic factors which affect the rate of humus formation. Both plants and animals influence soil formation. Dead plants and animals provide humus, which adds to soil fertility. Sometimes we see plants coming out from the crack of a rock. Slowly the plant grows bigger and bigger, which enables its roots to exert pressure on the rocks, which leads to their disintegration. Similarly, there are some bacteria and fungi which eat rocks and decompose them. Time. Time is one of the most important factors in the formation of soil. It determines the thickness of soil profile. A soil is said to be mature when it has been acted upon by all soil-forming processes for a long time and has developed a profile that remains the same for a long period of time. Older the soil, more fertile it will be as compared to the soil formed in the recent past. Infohive. Soil scientists have identified over 10,000 different types of soils in Europe. Soil profile. The vertical arrangement of different layers of soil from surface to the parent rock at a place is called soil profile. Mature soils are arranged in a series of zones called soil horizons, each with a distinct texture and composition which varies with different types of soils. A typical soil profile is composed of the following 4 layers. First, horizon A topsoil. The topsoil layer or horizon A is a porous mixture of partially decomposed organic matter, humus, and some inorganic mineral particles. This layer supports plant growth. Usually it is darker and looser than deeper layers. The roots of most plants and most of the organic matter are concentrated in the top 2 layers of soil. As long as these layers are anchored by vegetation, soil stores water and releases it in a nourishing trickle instead of a devastating flood. Leaching of soil is most prevalent in this layer. Horizon B, subsoil. This layer contains most of a soil's inorganic matter. It is also called the subsoil. It is a varying mixture of sand, silt and clay. Mineral content in this soil is more as compared to the horizon A, while organic matter is very limited. Horizons A and B together form the true soil. Horizon C, rock fragments. Horizon C contains the rock fragments and lies on a base of unweathered parent rock, horizon D. The true soil develops from these rock materials. This layer is not affected by the biological processes. Horizon D, parent rock. Horizon D is also called bedrock, that is the unbroken solid rock material lying below horizon C. You can see the soil profiles picture. Soil resources of India. In ancient India, on the basis of fertility, soils were classified into Urvara, fertile, and Ulsara, sterile. India is based with a variety of soils. The important types of soils found in India are as follows. Alluvial soil. It is the most important type of soil found in India and is very fertile. It contributes the largest share of the agricultural wealth. Many rivers originate from Himalayan mountains and bring a large amount of sediment with them. This sediment is deposited in the river valleys and the flood plains. Thus, the parent material of the alluvial soils is always of transported origin. The fine particles of sand, silt and clay are called alluvium. Alluvial soil can be divided into old alluvium, also called bangar, and new alluvium called khadar. Khadar. Black soil. Black soil is locally called regur. It is formed due to the weathering of volcanic rocks. Therefore, it is also known as black lava soil. This soil has remarkable water retention ability. It is also called black cotton soil, as cotton is the most important crop grown in this soil other than sugarcane. Black soil is mostly found in the Deccan Trap, covering large areas of Maharashtra, Gujarat and western Madhya Pradesh. It is also found in some parts of Godavari and Krishna river valleys, covering parts of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Red soil. Most of the red soil has been formed due to weathering of igneous and metamorphic rocks. The red color is due to high percentage of iron content. The texture of red soil varies from sandy to clay, the majority being loamy. On the uplands, the red soil is thin, poor, porous, and has loose gravel. In the lower areas, the soil is deep, rich, fine-grained, and fertile. With proper doses of fertilizers and irrigation, red soils can give excellent yields of cotton, wheat, rice, pulses, millet, tobacco, oilseed, etc. Red soil is found in peninsular India. Laterite soil. Laterite soil is formed under conditions of high temperature and heavy rainfall, with alternate wet and dry periods. Such climate conditions promote leaching of soil. Leaching is a process in which heavy rains wash away the fertile part of the soil, making it very unfertile. Laterite soil is red in color and composed of little clay and much gravel of red sandstones. This type of soil is found in the Western Ghats and in the flat uplands where heavy rainfall occurs. This soil type can only support pastures and shrub. Mountain soil. The mountain soil is formed mainly due to the deposition of organic matter provided by the forests. This soil is rich in humus, but poor in potash, phosphorus, and lime. It is heterogeneous in nature and varies from place to place. The mountain soil is sandy with gravel and it's porous. It is suitable for tea, coffee, and spice cultivation. Desert soil. Sand in the desert areas is partly of local origin and is found in hot and arid regions. It includes even the wind-blown loess. Desert soil has sand and clay. In some regions, this soil has high percentage of soluble salts but lacks in organic matter. When water is made available through irrigation, desert soil can produce a variety of crops such as wheat, millet, barley, maize, pulses, cotton, etc. Soil erosion. Soil erosion is the movement of soil components, especially surface litter and topsoil, from one place to another by different ways. Depletion of soil means deterioration in quality and quantity of soil. Erosion and depletion of the soil are the two key problems with valuable soil resources. Different physical and cultural factors cause soil erosion. Running water, blowing wind, slope of the land are some of the natural or physical factors of soil erosion and depletion, while deforestation, overgrazing, mining, construction, overuse of chemicals like fertilizers and pesticides are some of the cultural or human factors. Conservation of soil. Soil is one of the most important resources for human beings as we grow food crops in it for our own sustenance. We need to save this precious resource as the formation of soil is very slow. Soil can be conserved by adopting different measures. Some of them are as follows. Afforestation. Afforestation is the best way to conserve soil, that is by increasing the area under forests. Indiscriminate felling of trees should be stopped and efforts should be made to plant trees in new areas. Rows of trees should be planted in the fields which act as a shelter belt. This helps in preventing soil erosion due to wind. Overgrazing of forests and grasslands by animals, especially by goats and sheep, should be properly checked. Separate grazing grounds should be earmarked and fodder crops should be grown in larger quantities. New agricultural practices should be followed, such as crop rotation or intercropping. In this method, different crops such as wheat and pulses are grown in alternate periods. Crops are grown at different times. It helps in preventing soil erosion from rain wash and replenishing the soil with minerals. Terrace farming. Terrace farming is done in hilly areas. Plots are made in the shape of terraces to ensure flat surfaces for growing crops. It helps in reducing soil erosion, which may happen because of runoff. Contour plowing. In this method, plowing is done parallel to the contours of the hill slope. Plowing is done parallel to the contours of the hill slope. This helps in forming a natural barrier and prevents water from flowing down the slope. Mulching. In this method, the bare ground is covered with organic matter like straw. Covering of the soil helps in retaining the moisture and reducing growth of weed in soil. Fallowing. In this method, land is allowed some rest to replenish naturally and gain its fertility back. Rock dam. In this method, rocks are piled up to make a dam. Such dams slow down the flow of water. Thus it prevents formation of gullies and soil loss. Proper water management. Regulating the amount of water in the soil helps in stimulating the microorganisms, which in turn increase the soil fertility, leading to higher crop yield. In all, soil conservation includes all those measures which help in protecting the soil from erosion and exhaustion. Soil erosion has been continuing over such a large part of India for such a long time that it has assumed alarming proportions. Info Hive. On average, women in Africa and Asia have to walk 6 kilometers to collect water. Water resources. Water is the most precious substance on earth. It is essential for all forms of life on the earth. 70% of human body consists of water. About 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. It is therefore appropriately called the water planet. Water on earth is found in solid, liquid and gaseous forms. Water keeps on getting cycled through oceans, the air, the land and back to ocean through a process called water cycle. Water is found in abundance on the earth, but only about 3% is fresh water, of which only 1% is easily available and is suitable for human use. It is found as groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. A small fraction, 0.0019% of the total water on the earth is in the atmosphere at any given point of time. This relatively small amount of water in the water cycle is very crucial for us. It is responsible for producing all fresh water resources on the earth through the process of precipitation. Distribution of fresh water resources is highly uneven. Many of these inequalities in water availability are due to climatic reasons. In some regions, precipitation exceeds evaporation, like equatorial regions, while in some regions, evaporation exceeds precipitation, which leads to formation of deserts. Water resources of India. Human beings use water for a variety of purposes, like drinking, bathing, and washing. Water is also used in production of various things for our use. Moreover, it is used in agriculture, industries, and in electricity generation. Increasing population has resulted in exploitation of water on an even larger scale. This has resulted in shortage of water at many places. Shortage of water is a major problem in many parts of India. Brain tickler. How does increase in population influence water use? Conservation of water resources. Access to clean and adequate water is a major problem in the world. Overuse and pollution of water have made it unfit for use at many places. Conservation techniques should be adopted to conserve as well as improve the quality of the water. Sewage, agricultural chemicals and industrial effluents are often discharged into water bodies either in partially treated or untreated form. They pollute the water with various kinds of contaminants. Treatment of these effluents can help in controlling water pollution. Forest and vegetation cover slows the surface runoff and thus helps in recharging the groundwater. Surface runoff can also be reduced by applying the methods of water harvesting. Canals should be properly lined to minimize the losses by seepage. Sprinklers and drip irrigation help in minimizing the use of water for irrigation and thus help in conservation of water. Adopting rainwater harvesting techniques in whatever ways possible. By becoming sensitive towards utilization of water, we can conserve water and also improve the quality of water. Recap. Land covers only 30% of the total area of Earth's surface. Soil has 4 layers or horizons topsoil, subsoil, parent rock and bedrock. Alluvial soil, red soil, black soil, mountain soil, laterite soil and desert soil are the types of soils available in India. Water is essential for all forms of life on the earth. Access to clean and adequate water is a major problem in the world.